Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Black Book Experience. And I want to talk about the comment that is pinned to this video, and I want to offer you guys a personal, vulnerable perspective, because I think this is such an important question as I continue to do the work in this space, writing children's books so that parents and children can see themselves in reading and autism, as well as non-autistic children being able to understand autism from the lens of autistic persons and the situations they go through, as well as the main part of my business, which is to support adults on the spectrum with employment. So here's my observation with this comment as an autism mom who has raised and is still raising a son on the spectrum and who is also a divorced mom. Quick backstory: my son was diagnosed shortly after I got divorced, and he was about 7 years old. Once my divorce was finalized and my ex-husband and I were no longer in the same house, and there was a different emotional as well as physical dynamic for my children and I, some things became more apparent. There's other things to this story, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to get into that because I really want to address this question. But for me, after I did my work, after I put focus and energy into my son, on our relationship and growing that, figuring out things that worked for him, figuring out things that worked for me, and figuring out things that worked for my family, and doing personal healing work and trauma from myself and the things that I suffered from, so many things came to be clear, and it helped me to have a perspective about why the dynamic and the co-parenting situation really was not a good one. Okay, and this is not about me bashing my ex-husband, because he has his own things to deal with, and I don't pretend to know what they are. I could speculate, but we've not been together in a long time. But again, here is my point. Particularly in my observation and opinion, when it's a man who has a son and that son does not turn out to look, be, feel, or act like what that father thinks that their son should act like, that can be a source of, and I want to use the right word, okay, because I want to be, again, respectful of not just my son's father, but respectful of all fathers in this situation, because I see this a lot on autism parenting groups that I'm in. Lots of spouses, male spouses, men spouses, exhibiting this kind of thing that's mentioned in the comment, whether it's up or below at whatever point in this video. But my point is, they don't know often how to process that a child that they had a hand in creating is not quote unquote normal, will not do the things that they expected that child to do, especially when that child looks a lot like them and again is a male. Not that it can't happen if the child is a female born child, but in any event, the whole point is that they may have a hard time. You got to remember, men are not socialized and taught to deal with and manage their feelings, to talk about what is bothering them, to figure out how to communicate best with their partners, let alone necessarily other people. And so all of this is very, very impactful to ultimately the relationship they have with the child's mother, and therefore the relationship that they have with the child itself. And often it does this headbutting thing instead of bringing them closer together to figure out how to raise a child and allow that child to be its most authentic expression of itself, regardless of how the autism traits present. So I hope this video makes sense. I wanted to try to wrap all of these thoughts up and package them as nicely and appropriately as possible. And again, I'm not saying to confirm or deny or to love or hate the negative dynamic that creates. But I think when we have a thought like that in our head about how other people may see and process things differently than us, then it helps us get to a space as the parent with the primary responsibility for raising our children on the spectrum to get past our feelings about what somebody else fails to do or how they fail to support us, and then focus on what we need to do for ourselves and our children on the spectrum and any other children if we have them, to be able to center our focus on that so that we raise the most happy, whole, most fulfilled children that we can, so that they manifest whatever traits that they need to so that they can live the best lives that they can live for who they are based on how those autistic traits develop. So I hope this has helped someone. Please share your comments on this video. I will be looking forward to hearing them. Thank you.